It's on.
Okay. About when Dad and Uncle Pat, they were single, and they went up Bourbon Holler, which is south of Grayson. You know Bourbon Holler. You lived Bourbon Holler. And one of them had a girlfriend up there. Well, they drove up the holler in their horses and rode up the holler. And there was a bright and shiny buggy at this girl's house that one of them was dating, or calling on, I think the word was. And so they looked at it and they recognized this buggy as belonging to a guy that they didn't particularly have much good feelings about. So they took the man's buggy and took it apart piece by piece and took it up on top of the barn, right, and set it right across the crown of the barn and reassembled it up there. So when he come out from his courting, why, he had to look for his buggy, and there it was up on top of the barn. They had gone from there by then.
I would say so.
So they were, and then Uncle Pat and Dad they run together. They had other brothers, Arthur and Charlie and so on, but Uncle Pat and Dad seemed like they socialized mostly together, and they got into troubles, and Uncle Pat was always getting them into trouble, and Dad was always having to fight and get them out of trouble. So they run together, but he'd say, "Now don't you start nothing here." "Well, I won't if I don't have to." And so anyway, that's the way it got started. Now there's another story about, you still got a minute on that?
We got a couple.
Okay. Another story about Baum's brothers, Al and his brothers, and they were, I got this one from Mr. Clifton. That's Ruie's dad. And he said that they was going down the road one day, and they was out around Carter City, and the young one, Dervard, said, "There comes, that's..."
1 minute. We got 1 minute.
You got 1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Dervard says, "There comes that Kaiser," said, "he needs a whooping." And so Al says, "Well, go whoop him." So Al's the oldest one of the Daniels family. So he goes, gets Kaiser, and immediately proceeds to beat up on him something fierce. And finally Al walked over to him and shook him apart and said, "That's enough now." And he turned around and hit Kaiser again. Then Al took him and wore up the ground with him. He said, "When I say it's enough, it's enough." He whooped him for fighting longer than he told him to.
Well, let's go get some lunch. What do you think?
That sounds good. Where do we get down to, 60?
We got down there pretty far.
That's pretty good. That's half of it.
Yeah, we are. We're getting there.
I see. I put some clothes on. Is this enough?
Yeah, you look pretty
Where
good.
Where are we going?
We're going to a place called Malone's.
Malone's.
I'm just wearing out the last 18 seconds of this because I figure why not, you know. This is, you can see.
Yeah.
Of course, if I do that, I can't see. But this tripod is pretty handy because it allows you to, keep a pretty steady hand.
Yeah.
People get tired of watching movies and shake.
Yeah, you're holding the hand, you got a tendency to grip it.
Yeah, it gets pretty rough. But that's recorded all the way to